guys, I'm Rhonda Kelly with Coast Home and Sea, and I am just walking in my backyard today, just really enjoying all the beautiful roses that are growing right along the edge of my fence here. And ooh, this little baby, but it still smells so good. I'm hopping on to talk to you about the fact that we have no contingencies in this state. What does that have to do with roses? Well, stick around and I will tell you and let you find out more of our process here in purchasing in North Carolina, and you're not gonna wanna miss all the secrets that I will share right up to the end. Stick around. Can't wait to chat with you some more. Hey guys, I have hopped on today because I just wanted to stop and smell the roses with you for a quick second. I mean, check out these beautiful things. So, what does this have to do with real estate today? I have so many people talking to me about how come North Carolina has no contingencies. And I'm here to tell you, don't be freaked out. It's actually a really good thing. Let me explain. So yes, North Carolina has no contingencies in their regular offer to purchase contract. This is the standard form that North Carolina puts out each year of transactions for mostly resale. Some new construction use it, yet it's generally where our rules come together for how we do a normal transaction sale. Obviously, you can always have an attorney draft specific documents, we call them addenda, to add to a contract, yet in the regular offer to purchase, we have no contingencies. I know, right? No contingencies. That's actually a good thing. Why? Because we have what's called a due diligence period. So what is so sweet, like these flowers, about a due diligence period? Well, let me just share that with you. In our state, we have a due diligence period, which is essentially like taking a house off the market. You can consider it almost renting it off the market, putting it under contract. You provide a little bit of money, or maybe you don't negotiate any. It really just depends on the deal. Yet most deals do have some money that they've negotiated where the buyer offers to the seller some money up front. It will get credited to them at closing if they do close. Yet for what we're talking about right now, let's just focus on upfront. They've provided a little bit of money that they've negotiated between the seller and the buyer as a reasonable amount for that home to be taken off the market, otherwise AKA under contract, to purchase. And during that due diligence period, which is also a negotiated amount of time, it could look like 0 days if you don't want to have a due diligence period, which I would highly recommend you do. Yet in some cases, when things are crazy, people choose not to. Don't worry about that. I'm here to make sure you're in good hands and you have the smoothest ride along the purchasing process. Yet most of the time we're looking anywhere from say 2 to 4 weeks on average that we negotiate in for the range for due diligence period. Well, what happens during the due diligence period? This is why we don't have any contingencies. See, a long time ago, and in other states, maybe the state you're in, when you go under contract, you are having to set up all these different time periods to take care of inspections, maybe even pre-qualification because your state doesn't do that ahead of time like our state does. Maybe for the appraiser to have enough time to come in and appraise the property. The list can go on and on about different checkpoints throughout the purchasing process that's needed in order for you to purchase. And that's a lot to keep track of as a buyer, as a realtor, in the whole transaction. Trust me when I say it is a sweet, smelly thing like these beautiful roses here. Yes, they are my grandmother's roses. I just love that we have them and they bring me so much joy, and so will this, because we have one period of time, that due diligence period, where we get everything done and taken care of. So whether we are looking to have a time period for inspections, for the appraiser to come, whatever it is that needs to happen in the investigation process and discovery process of you purchasing a home, that is what the due diligence period is for. Now in our state, the other great thing is, should something come up in your life that maybe you need to change your plans, I mean, we hate that. We hate to go into contract and things have to change, but it happens. Maybe you thought your job was bringing you here and it actually is sending you all the way across the country or the world somewhere else. And so you need to cancel the transaction. That due diligence period will cover you to be able to walk away legally from the purchasing process without penalties. What you do not get back though is that due diligence money that you negotiated up front. That's why I said it's like renting the house off the market. So I say that's your skin in the game. As your buyer's agent, I'm always going to try to keep that number as low as possible to keep your skin in the game and risk as low as possible. As your listing agent, I'm going to do my best to increase that number for you because that money stays in your pocket, like I said, even if they walk away. So maybe that covers your mortgage payment. Maybe it just gives you a little extra cushion for the plan hands and you're moving to the next place, whatever it is a good thing on both sides. So as a buyer's agent, I'll keep that number low. As a seller's agent, I'm gonna try to keep that higher for you. Either way, we do not give back that due diligence money in a typical transaction that's running smooth just because the buyer decides to leave. Now, there are some certain scenarios where it's possible that may actually qualify to get their due diligence money back, and the seller may not get to keep it. That's in very small circumstances, but for the most part, the buyer will typically leave that money in the seller's hands, and when they walk away, they are out of the contract, so that's great for them, but the seller is keeping that due diligence money. Now, if there's any earnest money put down, which a lot of people confuse the two, due diligence and earnest money. The due diligence, like we just said, was for what? Renting the house off the market. That's right, to do your due diligence. Yes, the earnest money is more like saying, hey guys, here's an upfront payment towards this home. The attorney holds on to it for you until closing just to show, hey, I'm good for it, guys. I'm good for this purchase, so I'm just gonna throw in a quick down payment just to show you I am. We can go into more detail down the road as to when you would not possibly get that back. Just know for today and for this video, in due diligence, if you walk away from a transaction in the state of North Carolina, you would get your earnest money back as long as you've done things correctly and the seller's not disputing it, but you do not get your due diligence money back. So yes, no contingencies in our state seems scary and crazy, and what if I have a house to sell? Well, that's where you need a professional like me to help you work things out. And yes, sometimes you're gonna have a house to sell in a whole nother state. I have excellent referral partners all around the United States and even the world, honestly, depending where you're coming from, that I'd love to connect with them on the sale of your home and helping you make a smooth transition here. That is so important. Communication is such a huge, huge part of it. I always say my three things are communication, education, and integrity. So this video is education, just a little slice of what it is to have a due diligence period, negotiate some of those terms, and not necessarily have contingencies in our state. Yet, communication is really great if I can be working with the agent on the other side, whether you're coming from another area or if you're selling a home here. I would love to be that listing agent as well and provide you all the same expertise and marketing and everything that you need to know and make your best choice on the listing side as well as on the buyer side, making it an extra smooth transaction, knowing what's happening on both sides from the inside and being able to keep you from feeling so yo-yoed between two agents. Yet sometimes you already have an agent by the time we meet. And if that's the case, great. I would love to work with them, still making this be as smooth of a transaction as possible. This is to a few of you that love to go and look at all these beautiful new construction. They're just as attractive as these roses. You just can't help but come and stop in and smell them, right? Well, not quite the same with the house, but you can't help but to stop by on that sunshine weekend and check out those models with the agent there, see the neighborhoods. That's great, but please reach out to me because I advocate for you. With a builder, they're advocating for themselves. They may be great and nice, and I work with several of them that I just respect and really love. However, at the end of the day, they'll tell you, I represent the builder, not you. That means I can only take you so far, and then all my interest is gonna stay on the builder's side, and I may not be giving you all the keys to all the tricks that help keep the most money in your pocket, or, like I said, advocate for you. That's where I come in. So if you're considering going and seeing some houses on the weekend, then call me. I'd love to come with you. I'd love to chat with you about your goals and let you know, hey, this neighborhood's probably more of what you're looking for. It offers this. Even better, here's the incentives there, depending on what you're looking for in your time frame, so that you're not pushed around or influenced strongly by a builder's agent saying, this is the house, this is the one you have to get. I have seen so many people in that scenario, and they just end up in a bad case because they go ahead and sign that contract on that house, and then it puts them in a pinch for selling their other one. They don't plan things out well because they don't have someone advocating on both sides saying, hey, actually, I know what they're saying seems like a great deal, but believe it or not, I can find you a better one, or it's not as crucial as they're making it sound. So let me be your advocate in your corner, whether it's for due diligence period, making the sale a smooth transaction, or whatever it is you need in the process. And then you can just stop and smell the flowers like I am today. Let's chat soon. Check on the description below. You can always send me a quick message, set up a Zoom call, call me, text me. I'd love to hear from you and chat about your goals. Bye.